Friday, obviously a great chance to be on the national spotlight, and it's a game you want to really build up.
Yeah, it is. It's we're trying to build a tradition here, and Good Friday's only new, and I think the fans take a little while to sort of organise their Easter holidays, but based on ticket sales so far, it's going to be a sellout and looking like a fantastic game with Essendon in really good form and us coming off the back of a win. You know, it should be a great game.
Is there a crowd in mind? I mean, I know it's pretty dangerous to do that, but do you have something you'd be satisfied with?
Oh well, it's probably more for the administration side of the football club to look at. But I think that, you know, the momentum that we've been trying to build over the last couple of years is coming through, and a big club like Essendon and, you know, North Melbourne and Essendon have got a great rivalry and a great history. So, you know, I think all the ingredients are there for a big crowd.
How much of an occasion is it for you as the Kangaroos as a football club?
Well, it's a huge occasion because we get the opportunity to play in a standalone big game, but it's also a huge occasion because it's more than just football. You know, this game is about such a great cause, and the Royal Children's Hospital and the Good Friday Appeal, and something that's certainly an institution in Melbourne and Australia, and it's an opportunity for us in a very small way to give back to the community, and that's something North Melbourne prides itself on. And, you know, while we want to win the game, you know, it's a great opportunity for the players to, in their small way, give it a little bit back.
They've had a couple of high-scoring games, the Bombers. Do you try and slow them down?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I mean, they've come off their first two games where they kicked 40 points and 65 points, and then two really high-scoring games. So there's a little bit in altering our defence to be able to counter that. But we think if we do that really well, we'll get our opportunities to score as well. So it's a bit of it's an interesting one. You can make a case for this being a really high-scoring game, or you can make an equally strong case for it being a low-scoring game. So it'll just depend who can get on top in the midfield and give their team first supply.
What's your preference?
Well, look, I was on TV with Ken Hinkley last night when Ken mentioned that Port have tried to open the game up and tried to score more, but when you try and do that, potentially you open yourself up a little bit defensively. And certainly early on in the year, we were a bit of the same mind, that we were really looking to attack and score more, but we conceded 144 points in the first round, so that's certainly unsustainable. So we made a very quick adjustment. But, you know, we still believe that to be a really good, consistent team capable of beating anyone in the competition, you've got to be able to score, and so we'll certainly be looking to do that, but trying to get as much balance in our game as possible.
Did you pull Ken aside afterwards off air, just see what he had to say?
Well, no, we didn't talk, but oh look, the clubs analyse each other so well these days that you know, I suspect he could give a pretty good description of the way we play, and vice versa, us to them.
What's your intel telling you? Is Joe Danaher going to be playing ones this week?
Oh, I think our intel is that he'll play. You know, we did the calculations when they first announced his injury and realised that fell right when we played them on Good Friday. But yeah, I mean, that's more a question for them. I mean, we'll plan for Joe, and even though he's had a limited preparation, we'll plan for Joe Danaher at his best. And you know, when he came through as a junior, I thought he was one of the most exciting prospects I'd ever seen, certainly as a key forward. So Joe at his best is an unbelievably good player, and we'll have to prepare for that. But we've also got the other challenges of McDonald, Tip and Woody and Fantasia, and, you know, the Stringer. They've got a lot of firepower down there, so we're going to need to restrict supply to stand up defensively.
Yeah, talking about that, obviously Marley Williams still isn't available. There's the Luke McDonald stuff that's hanging over your head a bit at the moment. Yeah. Sam Wright, is he in the mix, or is there someone else that might play that role? Jasper Pittard?
Yeah, Wrighty's ready to come back into our squad. We'll have to make, obviously waiting on the Luke McDonald decision at the tribunal, whether he's available or not. But it's fortunate that we've got Sam Wright with 2 VFL games under his belt now, and certainly ready to play AFL if selected.
What does he suggest about the tribunal? If more cases that are going there are getting up rather than getting down? Does it suggest that something's not working, or is it read anything into it?
No, I'd probably argue the other way, that I think it is working. I think that the AFL, if they're wavering on whether they charge a player or not, it seems to be at the moment that they're prepared to lay the charge and then leave it up to the clubs to challenge if they don't agree with it. And to me, that's the system working.
You felt that Jones wasn't concussed in that incident?
Oh no, I'm not a doctor and I don't provide a medical report. It's more we're going to make our case at the tribunal, but in terms of the actual act, you know, it was a free kick and a 50-metre penalty, and we felt that was fair.
I've asked you a bit about changes in recent weeks, but do you feel like if, say, McDonald gets off, he's free to play this week, is it potentially an unchanged lineup this week?
Oh, it's hard to answer right at the moment. I mean, we're yet to have our main training session. We had some guys perform pretty well last week. We rested Bailey Scott as well, so there's another one that's available to play. And we're still, as I mentioned last week, trying to work on the best mix, probably all over the ground. And each week we've faced a challenge with our defence. It seems like every training session, every JLT game, every home and away game, we've lost a defender each week. So we've had to refashion that a little bit, and we may have to again if we lose Luke.
Any update on Ben Mackay? How's he sort of...
Yeah, he should be available to play. He won't do much on the training track today, but that was initially feared he might have a broken foot, but all scans are clear, so it'll just be, he's still a little bit sore, but medically he'll be past fit to play, provided he can tolerate the pain and discomfort.
Tom Murphy?
Now, Murph won't play this week. He's got an ankle injury that we hope's not too significant, but at the moment the medical staff need to wait for the swelling to dissipate before they can give us an accurate return to play, but it won't be this week.
It's a real opportunity this week, isn't it? I mean, big crowd, big opposition. If you win it, your season back on track, or don't necessarily accept that premise, or...
Oh, I think it's early to. I mean, clearly with our start to the year, I said last week we handicapped ourselves, so we're still handicapped to a certain degree. But I mean, it sounds cliche, but we're just trying to work on our brand and work on the way that we want to play. And if we get that bit right, I think the results will start to take care of themselves. But we don't have time to waste. We've got to make sure that we play the brand that we want to play, like last week, and we continue that on to this week and beyond. But I do know that it's an incredibly tight competition. You can make a case for every team, and you can equally make a case that if a few things go wrong for every team, that they're back to the field. So there's going to be a lot of change to the ladder over the course of this year, I suspect, more than most years.
Your instruction to Ben Brown will remain the same. You said last night, particularly in ruck contests, that he needs to run and jump at the footy, and then he'll probably get the call going this way.
Yeah, well, Brownie's an incredible athlete. It's not often you see someone who has elite endurance, over 200 centimetres tall, got elite agility for his size. So we want Brownie to launch at the ball. When he's playing his best footy, whether that's in the ruck or forward, he's jumping at the ball. So that's the way that we want him to play, and that's the way he does play. I think Ben Brown is a man of the highest integrity, and we have absolutely no issue with opinions on his football, but we certainly do take umbrage at questions over his integrity.
He responded really well on the field. I mean, off the field, is he all right? He gets whacked a fair bit.
Yeah, he's an incredibly well-rounded, resilient young man. So there's a lot more to life for Ben Brown than just football, and I think that balance really helps when you're being criticised.
Last one from me, Scotty. Turner, Zerha, and obviously Thomas as well. The same sort of approaches work for your brother. Did you guys have any sort of chat in between matches that it might be the way forward for the club?
In terms of the new faces?
The defensive pressure up forward. Yeah.
Oh, I think every coach loves it. We would certainly love to have Taylor Garner in that mix too, as an elite pressure player. But as I said after the game, we don't want to be just a team that relies on individuals to provide our pressure. We want to be that style right across the board.
Yep.
And we play guys to their strengths, and we play Brownie in the role that suits him. But clearly with the type of player Ben Brownie is, we need pressure around him. So that responsibility falls to all of our forwards.